Welcome to the Building Business Relationships Show. I'm Matt Stone, and before we officially launch, we're exploring what matters most when it comes to relationships in business. These early episodes are about testing ideas, learning from great guests like we have today, and hearing what you think belong in the conversation. So please listen in, watch, share your thoughts, and help us shape what this show becomes. And joining me today is Mike Verret, the Chief Presentation Officer at Verret Associates, and he's got a knack for helping people talk about themselves the right way. We'll have to figure out what that means. Most of us try to say or write what we think our audience wants to hear, but we don't actually think about what they need to get out of it. Mike flips that around. He shows you how your message actually lands with your audience and helps you sharpen it so people get it and remember it, and remember you. His whole philosophy, to be memorable, you have to be first, best, or different. First and best, they're pretty hard to come by. But different, that's what makes you memorable. And I hope this conversation is memorable. Mike, thank you so much for joining me.
No. Thank you for having me.
No. Thank you. Okay, we're not getting.
I get to talk to a camera for 20 minutes. This is going to be a blast.
I've been called worse. All right. Sounds fantastic. Well, as you know, with this show, we jump right into it. So looking back, what's a business relationship that's had a major impact on your life and maybe your career?
That's a great question. I think from a business perspective, the biggest impact in business that I felt on my life, in my life, was actually some time I worked at Hasbro Toys and Games for 7 years. And for 4 of the years, I didn't know what I was doing. They hired me from their ad agency, and I was in a swimming pool full of master's degrees who would eat their young to climb the corporate ladder. And I came in this other door. I had no idea what was going on. So the first 4 years was a practical and brutal education on product management. What they figured out after that 4th year is I'm terrible at making this stuff, but I'm really good at talking about it. And they turned my role into running our global sales meeting for just the games division, which represented about a quarter of the Hasbro business. Just the games division, I would coordinate our global sales meeting, and then they'd send me to all the industry events, all the trade events called toy fairs around the world. And so I'd go to Hong Kong, I'd go to Germany, I'd go to New York, LA, all for 2 weeks at a time. And my job was to get the buyers to feel and understand what we're doing with Hasbro games. And what I realized was, insight-wise, we have 400 games, the buyer has 6 minutes. Furthermore, they know how much every game costs, what's in it, and how many they could fit on the shelf at Walmart. So they really are there to see and feel what we're going to do about it. Everybody else is using demo models to show them how the Transformers transform or how My Little Pony has, castle works. But what I know is if I put the right idea in their head, substantiate that idea, and show them the benefits of that idea, sales will go up. I know this because it happens every time I did it. The buyer would come up with the salesperson, and I would put an idea of, say, the joy of connection in their head. For the next 5.5 minutes, I'm substantiating that idea, joy of connection, through our different segments of games, preschool, adult games, family games, kids games. And the last 30 seconds are spent explaining the benefits of what we're doing about creating those connections. And sales would go up by 10%. Mm-hmm. It was simply based on one thing, understanding how to communicate to another human being. And in the business world, we're all playing a role. We don't act like this at home. We don't use words like synergize and ideate. We say,
what?
Work together and think. So understanding that we play a role, how do you speak to the real person gets lost in business. So I turned my job into understanding and acting as an audience for my clients. It's providing an audience perspective to show them what their audience really sees compared to what they see. And usually it's pretty eye-opening.
Now, I will say I use synergize at the dinner table all the time. Like, honey,
we need
to synergize the salad with the let me go see what I can do. And We'll touch
That
base.
dinner was delicious. I got to go, but what are your KPIs this weekend?
Exactly. It's really a romantic dinner table. I got to tell you. No, you're absolutely right. That's not the language that we use in our regular life. And honestly, we'd be better off not using it in business either. But it is hard. It's hard because we all, in that context, we all mirror each other. And so you just sort of fall into it. But I'm curious, there's a lot of different threads, but for the sake of this particular show, you talked about they when I asked you about the relationships in Hasbro. Are there any particular people that you felt like really got you, that really saw you more than others, that helped you? You said they kind of put me in this role that was perfect for me because somebody saw you. Somebody saw the magic, the genius that you brought to the table and had the wherewithal. Or did you impose that on them? I'd like to just pull that thread. Listen to me. You're not getting it,
It came together because I was moved to the franchise marketing group within games. Okay, so not product management, product marketing.
Yeah.
And so part of my job was global sales meeting. And the first one that they had me coordinating, I decided I was going to be host and make it into a talk show, but no interviews and just stupid human tricks. And it went over huge to the point where they gave us a much bigger room. And it was usually in front of an audience of 300 people that I would sort of lead this show. And we left impressions like you would not believe. It was so different than what was going on in the other rooms. And my simple strategy was every single person in this room has been a kid before. They still have the tendencies to act like a kid. And we're going to give them permission to during this fun, engaging, hands-on GSM. So for 3.5 hours, I was the host or the MC practically.
Right.
And we would have the crowds leaving happy. We were memorable. We left a huge impression on them. And when that happens, sales go up. So we constantly were seeing a better understanding of what we were doing, which understanding is not cerebral in this case. It's, oh, I get it. I feel it. That's the impression we were trying to make. When I say they, it actually started with the VP of the gaming group.
Oh, okay.
He's the one who put me in that position. But the support I would garner from the rest of the gaming team to bring that event to life was fantastic. At the trade shows, it was just me with an audience of buyers.
Right.
Whether they were from Asia, Europe, South America, it didn't matter. I had to understand the personality of the person I was speaking to there and understand that speaking to someone from Russia is very different than speaking to someone from Italy, those types of things. But the support I got once I was put in that position by the VP, the support I got from the team is what made it feel real to me as now I feel like I have a career. Now I feel like I have a point of being at Hasbro. And the 4 years prior to that, I never
didn't.
No.
So essentially, it was the relationships that you had with those people that helped, that were the mirror you needed to know, okay, yeah, I'm in the right place now. I'm situated right, and now I can soar. It kind of gives you the validation and then the confidence to go forward and do the amazing work that you did.
Yeah, it was a one-off opportunity, and the fact is, I wasn't one to shine at that company. I was in the same position for your same level for years, and I just knew I wasn't cut out for it. But I went to work every day. Then when this happened, all of a sudden I felt like, oh my goodness, I figured out a way to actually contribute to the marketing team of the games group. I figured out a way to contribute to the product managers, product developers, designers, all of those things. I'm the loudspeaker for the work they've put into it. And that's where I got the support from everybody on the games group. It wasn't, this is going to be a slog. It was, Mike's found his spot. He's found his energy.
And how cool is that when you come across someone whom genuinely is happy for you that you've done that and they're excited about it? And it's
there's nothing that feels better.
There's nothing. You stole the words. There's nothing better than that.
Simply because you're going to be happy. It's a personal accomplishment. But it's validation, social proof coming from the outside.
Right. And the fact that someone's actually happy for you, about you, that is like magic. When people believe that you're happy for them, there's nothing more trust building than that, in my experience.
I think it's an absolute permission.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
That's it. Okay, now let's take all of that learning and that experience now with what you're doing now and helping clients rethink the way they message so it lands the way they intend, and kind of get out of your own perspective as you help people do. For a long time, when you said the word relationships, the default belief was that you were talking about what you might call a personal relationship, your wife, your husband, your children, or whatever. But I think now more and more I'm hearing more people think of it the way I've always thought of it, which is that relationships, they might have a different context, but the basic human dynamics of human relationships are still operating everywhere you go. So I wonder how that plays into the work that you do with clients.
I think the best way to explain it is this. Every one of us, when it comes to talking about us or what we do for our business, or, as a business, or our resumes, when it's coming from us, it's impossible to do. It's impossible to say the right things, see the right things, so you're communicating the right things, because you're in this vacuum where 100% of what you do is important to you. But the reality is only 5% of that matters to your audience. And finding the 5% is what people run into. If they know everything, how do they find the 5% that matters? An example of this would be an author who writes a book. Stephen King writes a new book. Every word in that book is important to him. So when it comes time to write the blurb, how is he going to write 3 paragraphs that sell the book if everything's important? Well, they need to know this, and I have to tell them this. And he's thinking 90 paragraphs, not 3.
Right.
But a fascinating thing happens when there's a shift from your perspective to your audience's perspective. In that instance, Stephen King gives the book to someone else to read. They read it, finish it, and it takes them 10 minutes to write the blurb because they see what he can't. His mind is cluttered with everything. So how can you get a better perspective of your audience to actually cater your message to them, not based on what you think, not based on, my services or my unique approach or my team? They don't care about that. What they care about is, can you grab my attention, lead me through your story in a way I understand, and have me understand with no ambiguity what is the benefit? That's what they're there for, no matter what it is. I don't care if it's a public speaking opportunity to 10,000 people or it's pitching your business to 2. The truth is, the second, like right now, you are an audience, which means you're thinking like a human being. Every single person when you're talking to them becomes an audience. So how you perform in front of that audience is based on what they see and not what you think.
Yeah.
So my job is to play the audience for my clients, show them what the audience sees and show them the order that they see it or think about it, and align the business's story as a story for the audience.
And that's the basis of the intro to your relationship with that person and how short-lived it might be, right? Whether they want to come back for more and whether you intrigue them to learn more.
I would say it's in part and selfishly the relationship that they build with me, but moreover, the practice of what we go through enforces the importance and shows them how to build that relationship with their audience.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. The relationship with the audience, the prospects, its partners, et cetera.
I'll give you a very simple example that's relevant to this. TED Talks. I'm sure you've seen or at least heard of them. Everyone who does a TED Talk starts it with either a raise your hand if question type of thing or a think about this type of statement. The whole reason they're doing that is to start a connection with the audience and shift from a presentation to a conversation, because now the audience is engaged. It's not me versus them, it's us. That's how our brains recognize and reconcile those hands going up. It's actually psychologically puts the speaker at ease when they see the hands go up. And those types of things are an imperative the first time you meet someone to create a relationship, right? If you own a PR firm and I say, what do you do? Say, I own a PR firm. Well, I know what a PR firm is. I know what they do. Maybe I'll ask you about your clients. but I'm not really going to go as deep as you want. But if you answered that question, what do? I make news when it matters. That completely changes the dynamic. First, they need to know more. Tell me more. That's what you want to get them to say, the first thing out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, it focuses on the motivation for why they would need a PR firm. Their news has to matter. So they're more apt to relate to that message and connect with that company based on the relationship that the company's building with them right from the jump.
Yeah, that's really, really well put. Okay, I've got two more questions. The first one is, what are we not talking about on social media and in other venues like conferences and just in the atmosphere in general? What are we not talking about in terms of relationships enough or at all that we should be talking about?
I'll give you a quick response to that. 12 years ago, working at an ad agency, for instance, we were making TV commercials. We just started making web pages, web ads, that kind of stuff, okay? Now, fast forward 10 years, 12 years, and most agencies are just moving data back and forth that's coming from platforms that didn't exist 10 years ago. SEO, SEM, paid search, all of that is a different way of looking at the world. Very few companies are making TV commercials now, right? And seeing that evolution, now we're jumping into AI, which is a completely different animal on its own. Don't get me started on the Terminator stuff. But the AI stuff adds to the problem, because now what all these things can do quickly and all these penny by penny campaigns can do instead of a Super Bowl ad is things that people don't understand yet. They say, oh, AI, we'll use that. Well, what does that mean? And how they're communicating with them is a relationship stopper. And that's the problem. We've lost the ability to create actual connection, and we look at it in ones and zeros. We look at it as statistics. We look at it as Google Analytics. That stops relationships from forming. They're lucky if they establish a relationship in the sales meeting, and that's it.
Wow. Okay, that is a topic that, and this is the reason I asked, that's a great answer. When a topic like that gets me even more interested and pulls me in and makes me want to explore that more deeply, that is the gold. And so let's put a pin on that and put that in the show. And I'm going to invite you back to talk more about that. Let's get some other experts from different fields, put them at a table, and dive into what human relationships look like in this age and how we need to be reinventing our whole idea about how we're approaching this right now.
Well, I mean, everything from social media for a 13-year-old all the way to all those Google Analytics that a big company is using to market themselves. Yeah. All the same problem.
Yeah.
There's no relationship building opportunity because it's not an authentic connection.
This is a topic of endless interest to me, and one of the reasons why I'm actually creating the show in the first place is this. What do relationships mean now? And for those of us who still think they have incredible value, not only for profit, but for world peace, I think it's something I'd love to explore more with you if you're okay with that.
I'll leave that question with this. Partnership is used a lot more than relationship in the business world. And partnership is very ones and zeros sort of objective sounding. Relationship is human. And that's what's missing.
Yeah. Oh.
Not just because of AI. I mean, the way we think in business and the role we play destroys our ability to make those relationships work.
Let's change how people are thinking. And I guess I'm kind of teeing up the last question. This is going to sound like I'm just self-serving this, but I really mean it sincerely. You know a little bit about the show. Talk to you offline about the show. What interests and or excites you the most about when we launch the show next year?
I think at launch, what's going to be most exciting is getting people off the letter I and onto the letter E. IQ and EQ.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys focus on relationship building, emotional intelligence, and EQ does measure that. And that's the type of thing that you can actually evaluate your workforce in a whole new way. You know, there's operations, there's marketing, there's sales, but human resources, that's the tough nut to crack if you don't understand who works for you.
Yeah.
And it's more than numbers, it's more than IQ, it's human being to human being. So I think that'll be the most fascinating aspect of it, because that's something that every business lacks.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. This has been absolutely fantastic and a great sample and preview of what's to come. We're going to have such great human beings, and we're going to have fun doing it. And I'm glad you're part of the BBR universe now.
Well, you put the blame on yourself with the human beings part. It's
Okay.
like you talk about emotional quotient.
All right. And with that, thanks for listening to the Building Business Relationship Show. This pre-launch phase is all about discovery. So if something sparked your interest, I'd love to hear from you. Please share your thoughts, ideas, or guest suggestions and help us shape the conversations to come. And of course, subscribe, especially on YouTube. Go to YouTube, find Building Business Relationship Show, subscribe there and join the community so you'll be the first to know when we officially launch. And in the meantime, when another great conversation and more content drops. Thanks again. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.